If there's one food group that deserves the spotlight in any discussion about aging gracefully, it's leafy greens. These humble vegetables are often overlooked in favor of trendier superfoods or flashy supplements, but their impact on health is nothing short of extraordinary. For individuals over 60, leafy greens are more than just a side dish. They're a cornerstone of vitality, offering unparalleled support for heart health, cognitive function, bone strength, and overall well-being. And the best part, they're affordable, versatile, and accessible to almost everyone. Let's explore why leafy greens should be a non-negotiable part of your daily diet after 60, and how you can enjoy them in ways that feel exciting rather than obligatory. Why leafy greens are essential after 60. As we age, our bodies undergo significant changes that make nutrient-dense foods like leafy greens indispensable. Metabolism slows down, muscle mass decreases, and the risk of chronic diseases such as heart disease, osteoporosis, and dementia increases. Fortunately, nature has provided us with a powerful tool to combat these challenges: leafy greens. Packed with vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and fiber, they address many of the most pressing health concerns faced by older adults. 1. Supporting heart health. Heart disease remains the leading cause of death among seniors, but leafy greens can play a crucial role in prevention. Spinach, kale, Swiss chard, and other greens are rich in nitrates, which help dilate blood vessels and improve circulation. This reduces blood pressure and lowers the strain on the cardiovascular system. Additionally, the potassium found in leafy greens counteracts sodium levels, further protecting against hypertension, a major risk factor for heart attacks and strokes. A study published in the Journal of the American Heart Association found that people who consumed at least one serving of leafy greens per day had a significantly lower risk of developing heart disease compared to those who rarely ate them. The researchers attributed this benefit to the combination of antioxidants, fiber, and anti-inflammatory compounds present in these vegetables. 2. Boosting brain function. Cognitive decline is a common concern as we age, but leafy greens may offer some protection. They're loaded with folate, vitamin B9, lutein, and beta-carotene, all nutrients linked to better brain health. Folate helps regulate homocysteine levels, an amino acid associated with increased risks of Alzheimer's disease when elevated. Meanwhile, lutein and beta-carotene act as powerful antioxidants, shielding brain cells from oxidative stress. Research conducted by Rush University Medical Center revealed that older adults who consumed at least 1.3 servings of leafy greens daily experienced slower rates of cognitive decline, equivalent to being 11 years younger mentally, compared to those who avoided them. Imagine what a simple salad could do for your memory and mental clarity. 3. Strengthening bones. Bone density naturally decreases with age, increasing the risk of fractures and mobility issues. Calcium supplements are often recommended, but calcium alone isn't enough. Vitamin K, magnesium, and vitamin C, all abundant in leafy greens, are equally important for maintaining strong bones. Vitamin K activates proteins that bind calcium to bone tissue, while magnesium supports bone mineralization, and vitamin C aids collagen production, which forms the structural framework of bones. For example, collard greens and kale contain nearly as much calcium per serving as dairy products, without the saturated fat or lactose intolerance concerns. Incorporating these greens into your diet can help preserve bone density and reduce the likelihood of osteoporosis-related injuries. 4. Reducing inflammation. Chronic inflammation underlies many age-related conditions, including arthritis, diabetes, and even certain cancers. Leafy greens are packed with anti-inflammatory compounds like quercetin, camphorol, and sulforaphane, which neutralize free radicals and calm inflammatory pathways in the body. Regular consumption of these vegetables has been shown to alleviate symptoms of inflammatory diseases and promote overall wellness. Real-life stories. How leafy greens transformed lives. To truly understand the transformative power of leafy greens, let's meet a few individuals whose lives have been positively impacted by embracing these nutrient-packed vegetables. Margaret's journey to renewed energy. At 65, Margaret felt stuck in a rut. Her energy levels were low, her joints ached constantly, and she relied heavily on prescription medications to manage high cholesterol and blood pressure. A friend suggested she try adding more leafy greens to her meals, so Margaret started small, adding spinach to her morning smoothies and swapping iceberg lettuce for arugula in salads. Within weeks, Margaret noticed subtle improvements. Her energy returned, Her digestion improved, and her doctor was pleased to see her cholesterol numbers drop. Encouraged, she began experimenting with new recipes, like sautéed Swiss chard with garlic and lemon, and roasted Brussels sprouts with balsamic glaze. Today, at 70, Margaret feels healthier and more vibrant than she has in decades, all thanks to the consistent inclusion of leafy greens in her diet. Jack's Backyard Bounty. Jack, a 70-year-old retired engineer and avid gardener, decided to grow his own leafy greens after reading about their health benefits. He planted spinach, kale, and collard greens in raised beds in his backyard. Not only did this save him money, but it also gave him a sense of accomplishment and purpose. Every morning, Jack harvested fresh greens for his breakfast omelet or afternoon salad. Over time, Jack noticed tangible benefits. His skin looked clearer, his joint pain diminished, and he no longer needed medication for mild acid reflux. I never realized how much difference a handful of greens could make, he says. Now I can't imagine my meals without them. Susan's Sweet Swap. Susan, a 68-year-old grandmother, struggled with sugar cravings and erratic blood sugar levels despite taking medication for type 2 diabetes. On a whim, she replaced her usual dessert, a bowl of ice cream, with frozen blueberries mixed with a handful of baby spinach. To her surprise, the craving subsided, and she felt satisfied without the guilt. Encouraged, Susan started incorporating more greens into her snacks and meals: kale chips instead of potato chips, zucchini noodles instead of pasta, and a green smoothie every morning. Within months, her blood sugar stabilized and her doctor reduced her medication dosage. It's amazing what a little spinach can do, Susan laughs. Who knew healthy eating could taste so good? Creative ways to enjoy leafy greens every day. One of the biggest hurdles to eating more leafy greens is monotony. Many people associate them with bland salads or soggy steamed vegetables, but they're incredibly versatile. Here are some creative ideas to make leafy greens a delicious and exciting part of your daily routine. Breakfast ideas. Green smoothies. Blend spinach or kale with banana, almond milk, chia seeds, and a scoop of protein powder for a nutrient-packed start to your day. Egg scrambles. Sauteed chopped Swiss chard or spinach with onions and tomatoes. Then fold them into scrambled eggs or an omelet. Avocado toast upgrade. Top whole grain toast with mashed avocado, a sprinkle of red pepper flakes, and a handful of arugula for added crunch and nutrition. Lunch options. Salads with personality. Ditch plain lettuce mixes and opt for hearty greens like kale or romaine. Add toppings like roasted sweet potatoes, chickpeas, nuts, and a tangy vinaigrette. Wraps and sandwiches. Use large collard green leaves as wraps for turkey, hummus, and veggies, or layer spinach inside your favorite sandwich. Soups and stews. Stir chopped greens into soups like minestrone or lentil stew during the last few minutes of cooking for a pop of color and flavor. Dinner inspirations. Sautéed greens. Toss kale, mustard greens, or Swiss chard with olive oil, garlic, and lemon juice for a quick and flavorful side dish. Stir fries. Add bok choy, spinach, or broccoli rabe to stir-fried chicken, tofu, or shrimp for an extra dose of nutrients. Pasta alternatives. Replace traditional pasta with spiralized zucchini or spaghetti squash and toss with sautéed spinach and marinara sauce. Snack solutions. Kale chips. Toss torn kale leaves with olive oil, salt, and nutritional yeast, then bake until crispy for a savory snack. Dips and spreads. Blend cooked spinach or arugula into dips like hummus or guacamole for a sneaky serving of greens. Trail mix upgrade. Combine raw pumpkin seeds, almonds, and dried cranberries for a crunchy treat that includes magnesium-rich seeds. Pro tips for maximizing benefits. While incorporating leafy greens into your diet is straightforward, a few tricks can enhance their nutritional value and make them even tastier. Pair with healthy fats. Fat-soluble vitamins like A, D, E, and K require dietary fats for optimal absorption. Drizzle olive oil over salads or add avocado slices to smoothies. Massage tough greens. Kale and collard greens can be tough and bitter raw. Massage them with a bit of olive oil and lemon juice to soften their texture and mellow their flavor. Cook smart. Lightly steaming or sautéing greens preserves their nutrients better than boiling, which can leach water-soluble vitamins like C and B complex. Rotate varieties. Different greens offer unique benefits, so mix things up to ensure a broad spectrum of nutrients. Try Swiss chard for magnesium, spinach for iron, and arugula for peppery zest. Conclusion. Embrace the power of greens. Leafy greens aren't just another item on the grocery list. They're a lifeline to better health, especially after 60. Whether you're looking to boost your heart health, sharpen your mind, strengthen your bones, or simply feel more energized, these nutrient powerhouses deliver results. By finding creative ways to incorporate them into your meals and making them a daily habit, you'll unlock their full potential and perhaps discover a newfound love for vegetables along the way. So go ahead, grab a bunch of kale, a head of romaine, or a bag of baby spinach. Your body will thank you today, tomorrow, and for years to come. Because sometimes the smallest changes, like adding a handful of greens to your plate, can make the biggest difference. When it comes to foods that pack a powerful punch for health, few can rival the mighty berry. These small, colorful fruits are more than just a sweet treat. They're one of nature's most potent sources of antioxidants, vitamins, and phytonutrients. For individuals over 60, berries offer a wealth of benefits that address many of the challenges associated with aging, from cognitive decline to heart disease and inflammation. Their vibrant hues, ranging from deep blue to bright red, are a visual reminder of their nutrient density, making them a must-have in any senior's diet. Let's explore why berries deserve a starring role in your daily meals after 60, and how you can enjoy them in creative, delicious ways that feel like indulgence rather than obligation. Why berries are essential after 60. Berries may be tiny, but their impact on health is anything but minor. Packed with antioxidants, fiber, and essential nutrients, they provide targeted support for some of the most common age-related concerns. Here's how they work their magic. 1. Protecting brain health. Cognitive decline is a natural part of aging, but berries have been shown to slow this process significantly. They're rich in flavonoids, particularly anthocyanins, the pigments responsible for their vivid colors, which cross the blood-brain barrier and protect neurons from oxidative stress and inflammation. Anthocyanins also stimulate the production of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF, a protein that supports memory, learning, and overall cognitive function. A landmark study conducted by Harvard researchers followed over 16,000 women aged 70 and older for several years. Those who consumed at least 2 servings of strawberries or blueberries per week showed slower rates of cognitive decline compared to those who rarely ate berries. The researchers concluded that regular berry consumption could delay mental aging by up to 2.5 years, a remarkable finding for such a simple dietary choice. 2. Supporting heart health. Heart disease remains a leading cause of death among seniors, but berries can help reduce the risk. Their high fiber content helps lower LDL, bad cholesterol, while their antioxidants improve arterial function and reduce inflammation. Additionally, berries contain compounds like resveratrol and quercetin, which enhance circulation and prevent plaque buildup in blood vessels. A meta-analysis published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that individuals who included berries in their diets had significantly lower risks of developing hypertension and coronary artery disease. Even small amounts, just half a cup per day, were enough to make a difference. 3. Managing blood sugar levels. For seniors managing type 2 diabetes or prediabetes, berries are an excellent choice. Unlike other fruits, they're low in sugar and high in fiber, which slows digestion and prevents spikes in blood glucose levels. Berries also contain bioactive compounds that improve insulin sensitivity and regulate metabolism. Research has shown that eating berries alongside carbohydrate-rich meals can mitigate post-meal blood sugar spikes. For example, adding a handful of raspberries to oatmeal or yogurt can stabilize energy levels and keep cravings at bay. 4. Reducing inflammation. Chronic inflammation is a silent driver of many age-related conditions, including arthritis, Alzheimer's disease, and certain cancers. Berries combat this through their abundance of anti-inflammatory compounds like ellagic acid, quercetin, and vitamin C. Regular consumption of these fruits has been linked to reduced markers of systemic inflammation, promoting overall wellness and longevity. Real-life stories. How berries made a difference. To truly appreciate the transformative power of berries, let's meet some individuals whose lives have been positively impacted by embracing these antioxidant-rich fruits. Susan Sweet Swap. At 68, Susan struggled with sugar cravings and erratic blood sugar levels despite taking medication for type 2 diabetes. On a whim, she replaced her usual dessert, a bowl of ice cream, with frozen blueberries mixed with a dollop of Greek yogurt. To her surprise, not only did the craving subside, but she felt satisfied without the guilt. Encouraged by this success, Susan began incorporating more berries into her snacks and meals. She added strawberries to her morning oatmeal, blended raspberries into smoothies, and snacked on dried cranberries paired with almonds. Within months, her blood sugar stabilized, and her doctor was able to reduce her medication dosage. Berries are my secret weapon, Susan says. Who knew something so tasty could be so good for me? David's brain boost. David, a 72-year-old retired professor, worried about his declining memory and occasional brain fog. After reading about the cognitive benefits of berries, he decided to give them a try. He started each morning with a smoothie made from frozen blueberries, spinach, almond milk, and flax seeds. Over time, he noticed subtle improvements. Names came to him more easily, his focus sharpened, and he felt mentally sharper during conversations. I didn't expect much, but I'm amazed at how much better I feel, David shares. It's like my brain got a tune-up. Margaret's joint relief. Margaret, a 70-year-old avid gardener, battled painful arthritis in her hands and knees. A friend suggested she try tart cherry juice, known for its anti-inflammatory properties. Skeptical but desperate for relief, Margaret drank a small glass every evening before bed. Within weeks, she noticed less stiffness and swelling in her joints, allowing her to return to her beloved gardening projects. It's incredible what a little juice can do, Margaret marvels. Now, I always keep a bag of frozen cherries in the freezer for smoothies too. Creative ways to enjoy berries every day. One of the best things about berries is their versatility. Whether fresh, frozen, or dried, they can be incorporated into countless dishes, from breakfast to dessert. Here are some creative ideas to make berries a delicious and exciting part of your daily routine. Breakfast ideas. Berry smoothies. Blend frozen mixed berries with banana, almond milk, and a scoop of protein powder for a quick, nutrient-packed breakfast. Yogurt parfaits. Layer plain Greek yogurt with granola, fresh strawberries, and a drizzle of honey for a satisfying parfait. Oatmeal toppers. Add sliced bananas, blueberries, and a sprinkle of cinnamon to your morning oatmeal for extra flavor and nutrition. Lunch options. Salads with a twist. Top spinach or arugula salads with sliced strawberries, goat cheese, and walnuts for a refreshing combination of sweet and savory. Grain bowls. Mix quinoa or farro with roasted vegetables, chickpeas, and a handful of pomegranate seeds or dried cranberries for a burst of color and flavor. Dinner inspirations. Savory pairings. Use blackberries or raspberries as a topping for grilled salmon or chicken, paired with a balsamic glaze. Stuffed peppers. Fill bell peppers with a mixture of quinoa, chopped kale, and dried cranberries for a festive and nutritious main dish. Snack solutions. Trail mix upgrade. Combine dried berries like goji berries or cranberries with nuts, seeds, and dark chocolate chips for a satisfying snack. Frozen treats. Freeze grapes, blueberries, or sliced strawberries for a refreshing, low-calorie dessert. Nut butter dip. Serve fresh berries with almond butter or cashew butter for dipping, a perfect balance of sweetness and protein. Dessert alternatives. Berry crisp. Bake a mixture of fresh berries topped with oats, almond flour, and maple syrup for a healthier take on pie. Chia pudding. Mix chia seeds with almond milk, vanilla extract, and mashed raspberries. Let sit overnight for a creamy pudding-like treat. Pro tips for maximizing benefits. While incorporating berries into your diet is easy, a few strategies can enhance their nutritional value and make them even more enjoyable. Choose organic when possible. Berries tend to rank high on the Environmental Working Group's Dirty Dozen list due to pesticide residues. Opt for organic varieties when available. Buy frozen for convenience. Frozen berries retain nearly all their nutrients and are often more affordable than fresh ones. Use them in smoothies, oatmeal, or baked goods. Pair with healthy fats. Berries' fat-soluble vitamins, like vitamin E, are better absorbed when paired with healthy fats. Add avocado slices, nuts, or seeds to your berry dishes. Experiment with less common varieties. While blueberries and strawberries are popular, don't overlook lesser-known options like blackberries, gooseberries, or elderberries, which offer unique flavors and benefits. Conclusion. Harness the power of berries. Berries are nature's gift to those seeking to age gracefully and vibrantly. With their unparalleled antioxidant content, anti-inflammatory properties, and ability to support brain, heart, and metabolic health, they're a true superfood for seniors. By finding creative ways to incorporate them into your meals and snacks, you'll unlock their full potential and perhaps discover a newfound love for these sweet, tangy treasures. So whether you're tossing a handful of blueberries into your morning smoothie, enjoying a bowl of fresh raspberries as an afternoon snack, or savoring a slice of berry crisp for dessert, know that you're nourishing your body and mind with every bite. Because sometimes the smallest additions, like a cup of berries, can lead to the biggest transformations. When it comes to nutrient-dense foods that support health and vitality, few can rival the power of nuts and seeds. These small yet mighty morsels are packed with healthy fats, protein, fiber, vitamins, and minerals that address many of the challenges associated with aging. For individuals over 60, nuts and seeds offer targeted benefits for heart health, brain function, joint mobility, and overall well-being. Despite their diminutive size, they deliver outsized results, making them an indispensable part of any senior's diet. Let's explore why nuts and seeds deserve a prominent place in your daily meals after 60, and how you can enjoy them in creative, delicious ways that feel indulgent rather than obligatory. Why nuts and seeds are essential after 60. Nuts and seeds may seem simple, but their impact on health is profound. Rich in monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats, they help reduce inflammation, lower cholesterol levels, and protect against chronic diseases. They're also excellent sources of magnesium, zinc, vitamin E, and plant-based protein, all nutrients that become increasingly important as we age. 1. Supporting heart health. Heart disease remains the leading cause of death among seniors, but nuts and seeds can play a crucial role in prevention. Their high content of omega-3 fatty acids, particularly in walnuts and flax seeds, helps reduce triglycerides, improve arterial function, and decrease the risk of arrhythmias. Additionally, the antioxidants in nuts like almonds and pistachios combat oxidative stress, which contributes to cardiovascular damage. A landmark study published in the New England Journal of Medicine followed over 100,000 men and women for 3 decades. Researchers found that those who ate a handful of nuts, about 1 ounce, 5 or more times per week had a 29% lower risk of dying from heart disease compared to those who rarely consumed nuts. Even small servings provided significant protection. 2. Boosting brain function. Cognitive decline is a natural part of aging, but nuts and seeds can help slow this process. Walnuts, often referred to as brain food, are rich in DHA, a type of omega-3 fatty acid that supports neuron communication and reduces neuroinflammation. Pumpkin seeds, meanwhile, are loaded with magnesium and zinc, both of which enhance memory and focus. Research conducted at Loma Linda University revealed that regular nut consumption improved cognitive performance in older adults. Participants who included nuts in their diets scored higher on tests of verbal fluency, memory recall, and processing speed compared to those who didn't. 3. Promoting joint mobility. Joint pain and stiffness are common complaints among seniors, often caused by inflammation and cartilage breakdown. Nuts and seeds contain anti-inflammatory compounds like omega-3s, lignans, and polyphenols, which help alleviate symptoms of arthritis and other inflammatory conditions. Sesame seeds, for example, are rich in calcium and copper, both essential for maintaining strong bones and flexible joints. A study published in Arthritis Research and Therapy showed that participants who consumed flax seeds daily experienced reduced pain and swelling in arthritic joints. The researchers attributed this benefit to the seed's high concentration of alpha-linolenic acid, ALA, a plant-based omega-3 fatty acid. 4. Supporting hormonal balance. Hormonal changes during aging can lead to issues like weight gain, mood swings, and decreased energy. Nuts and seeds provide phytoestrogens, plant compounds that mimic estrogen in the body, helping to regulate hormonal fluctuations. Flax seeds and chia seeds are especially rich in lignans, a type of phytoestrogen linked to improved bone density and reduced menopausal symptoms. Additionally, the magnesium in pumpkin seeds and cashews supports relaxation and better sleep, while selenium in Brazil nuts boosts thyroid function, an organ critical for metabolism regulation. Real-life stories. How nuts and seeds made a difference. To truly appreciate the transformative power of nuts and seeds, let's meet some individuals whose lives have been positively impacted by embracing these tiny nutritional powerhouses. Tom's energy boost. At 63, Tom was an avid cyclist who loved exploring trails near his home. However, he often felt sluggish during long rides and struggled to recover afterward. On a friend's recommendation, he started snacking on a mix of almonds, walnuts, and dried cranberries before heading out. To his surprise, he noticed a significant improvement in his endurance and recovery time. "I used to hit a wall after an hour or two," Tom recalls. Now I can ride longer without feeling wiped out. Plus, my knees don't ache as much. I think the omega-3s are helping. Laura's bone strength. Laura, a 67-year-old retired teacher, worried about her declining bone density after being diagnosed with osteopenia. Her doctor suggested increasing her intake of calcium-rich foods, so Laura began sprinkling sesame seeds onto salads, soups, and stir-fries. She also added tahini, sesame seed paste, to smoothies and dressings. Within months, her follow-up bone density scan showed promising improvements. I'm thrilled, Laura says. It's such a simple change, but it's made a big difference. Margaret's mood lift. Margaret, a 71-year-old grandmother, battled frequent bouts of anxiety and insomnia. A nutritionist recommended she incorporate pumpkin seeds into her diet due to their high magnesium content. Margaret started blending them into smoothies and sprinkling them over yogurt bowls. The effect was almost immediate, Margaret shares. I felt calmer during the day and slept soundly at night. Now I keep a jar of roasted pumpkin seeds in my pantry for snacking. Creative ways to enjoy nuts and seeds every day. One of the best things about nuts and seeds is their versatility. Whether raw, roasted, or blended into recipes, they can be incorporated into countless dishes, from breakfast to dessert. Here are some creative ideas to make nuts and seeds a delicious and exciting part of your daily routine. Breakfast ideas. Overnight oats. Top overnight oats with sliced bananas, almond butter, and a sprinkle of chia seeds or hemp hearts. Smoothie boosters. Blend flax seeds, chia seeds, or almond butter into your morning smoothie for added creaminess and nutrition. Nutty granola. Make homemade granola using oats, chopped nuts, like pecans or hazelnuts, and a drizzle of honey. Snack solutions. Trail mix. Combine unsalted almonds, walnuts, pumpkin seeds, and dark chocolate chips for a satisfying snack. Roasted chickpeas. Toss chickpeas with olive oil, smoked paprika, and sesame seeds. Roast until crispy for a savory treat. Energy balls. Blend dates, cashews, cocoa powder, and chia seeds. Roll into bite-sized balls for a quick energy boost. Lunch options. Salad toppers. Sprinkle sunflower seeds, slivered almonds, or toasted pepitas, pumpkin seeds, onto salads for extra crunch and flavor. Avocado toast upgrade. Top whole grain toast with mashed avocado, a poached egg, and a sprinkle of flax seeds or hemp hearts. Grain bowls. Add sesame seeds or tahini dressing to quinoa or farro bowls for a nutty twist. Dinner inspirations. Stir fries. Stir toasted cashews or peanuts into vegetable stir fries for added texture and richness. Baked fish. Coat salmon or cod fillets with crushed walnuts and herbs before baking for a crunchy crust. Pasta alternatives. Use pesto made with pine nuts or walnuts instead of traditional sauces for a healthier option. Dessert alternatives. Nutty cookies. Bake cookies using almond flour, chopped walnuts, and dark chocolate chunks for a guilt-free treat. Chia pudding. Mix chia seeds with coconut milk and vanilla extract. Let sit overnight for a creamy pudding-like dessert. Seedy bars. Make no-bake bars using dates, sunflower seeds, and shredded coconut for a portable snack. Pro tips for maximizing benefits. While incorporating nuts and seeds into your diet is easy, a few strategies can enhance their nutritional value and make them even more enjoyable. Moderation is key. While nuts and seeds are nutrient-dense, they're also calorie-dense. Stick to moderate portions, about a quarter cup per serving, to avoid excess calories. Store properly. Keep nuts and seeds in airtight containers in the refrigerator or freezer to prevent rancidity due to their high-fat content. Go raw or lightly roasted. Avoid heavily salted or sugary varieties, which can negate their health benefits. Opt for raw or lightly roasted options instead. Experiment with less common varieties. Try lesser-known options like hemp seeds, macadamia nuts, or pine nuts for unique flavors and textures. When it comes to foods that support longevity and vitality, few can rival the power of fatty fish. These nutrient-dense seafood options are rich in omega-3 fatty acids, high-quality protein, and essential vitamins and minerals, all of which play a critical role in maintaining health as we age. For individuals over 60, fatty fish offers unparalleled benefits for brain function, heart health, joint mobility, and overall well-being. Whether grilled, baked, or served in soups and salads, these delicious and versatile foods deserve a regular spot on your plate. Let's explore why fatty fish should be a cornerstone of your diet after 60. and how you can enjoy them in creative, satisfying ways that feel indulgent rather than obligatory. Why fatty fish is essential after 60. Fatty fish like salmon, sardines, mackerel, trout, and herring are among the richest sources of omega-3 fatty acids, particularly EPA, eicosapentaenoic acid, and DHA, docosahexaenoic acid. These essential fats are crucial for maintaining cognitive function, reducing inflammation, and supporting cardiovascular health. As we age, our bodies become less efficient at producing and utilizing omega-3s, making dietary intake even more important. 1. Protecting brain health. Cognitive decline is a natural part of aging, but fatty fish can help slow this process significantly. The DHA in omega-3 fatty acids is a key structural component of brain cell membranes, supporting communication between neurons and protecting against oxidative stress. Studies have shown that regular consumption of fatty fish improves memory, focus, and problem-solving skills while reducing the risk of Alzheimer's disease and other forms of dementia. A study published in Neurology followed over 900 older adults and found that those who ate fatty fish at least once a week had larger brain volumes in areas associated with memory and learning, compared to those who rarely consumed it. Researchers concluded that omega-3s may act as a protective shield for the aging brain. 2. Supporting heart health. Heart disease remains a leading cause of death among seniors, but fatty fish can play a vital role in prevention. Omega-3 fatty acids reduce triglyceride levels, lower blood pressure, and decrease the risk of arrhythmias, irregular heartbeats. They also improve arterial flexibility and reduce inflammation, two factors that contribute to cardiovascular damage. A meta-analysis published in JAMA Internal Medicine reviewed data from over 700,000 participants and found that individuals who consumed fatty fish regularly had a 15% lower risk of dying from heart disease compared to those who avoided it. Even moderate intake, just 2 servings per week, was enough to provide significant protection. 3. Reducing inflammation. Chronic inflammation is a silent driver of many age-related conditions, including arthritis, diabetes, and certain cancers. Omega-3 fatty acids in fatty fish combat this by suppressing pro-inflammatory molecules and promoting the production of anti-inflammatory compounds. Regular consumption has been linked to reduced markers of systemic inflammation, promoting overall wellness and longevity. For example, a study conducted at the University of California, San Francisco, found that participants who ate fatty fish twice a week experienced less joint pain and stiffness compared to those who didn't. The researchers attributed this benefit to the anti-inflammatory properties of omega-3s. 4. Strengthening bones and joints. As we age, bone density decreases, increasing the risk of fractures and mobility issues. Fatty fish is an excellent source of vitamin D, a nutrient essential for calcium absorption and bone health. Many older adults struggle to get adequate sunlight exposure, making dietary sources of vitamin D like salmon and sardines especially valuable. Additionally, the omega-3s in fatty fish support joint health by reducing inflammation and improving cartilage integrity. A study published in Arthritis Care and Research showed that participants who consumed fatty fish regularly had fewer symptoms of osteoarthritis, including pain and swelling. Real-life stories. How fatty fish made a difference. To truly appreciate the transformative power of fatty fish, let's meet some individuals whose lives have been positively impacted by embracing these nutrient-packed foods. David's cognitive boost. At 67, David noticed his memory wasn't as sharp as it used to be. He'd forget names, misplace items, and occasionally lose track of conversations. Concerned about his cognitive health, he decided to incorporate fatty fish into his diet based on recommendations from a nutritionist. Twice a week, he started grilling salmon fillets seasoned with lemon and dill or adding canned sardines to salads. Within months, David noticed subtle improvements. Names came to him more easily, his focus sharpened, and he felt mentally clearer during meetings. It's amazing what a difference a couple of meals can make, he says. I feel sharper and more confident. Margaret's joint relief. Margaret, a 70-year-old avid gardener, battled painful arthritis in her hands and knees. Her doctor suggested she try eating more omega-3 rich foods to reduce inflammation. Margaret began baking mackerel fillets with herbs and serving them alongside roasted vegetables. She also added canned sardines to her lunchtime salads. Over time, Margaret noticed her joints were less stiff and swollen, allowing her to return to her beloved gardening projects. I never expected fish to make such a big difference, she marvels. Now I keep a stash of canned sardines in my pantry for quick meals. Susan's heart health turnaround. Susan, a 68-year-old grandmother, struggled with high cholesterol and hypertension despite taking medication. On her doctor's advice, she swapped red meat for fatty fish twice a week. She experimented with recipes like grilled trout with mango salsa and smoked salmon on whole grain crackers. Within 6 months, Susan's cholesterol levels improved and her blood pressure stabilized. Her doctor was able to reduce her medication dosage, much to her delight. I love how easy and delicious it is to eat healthy, Susan says. Fatty fish has become my go-to dinner choice. Creative ways to enjoy fatty fish every day. One of the best things about fatty fish is its versatility. Whether fresh, frozen, or canned, it can be incorporated into countless dishes, from breakfast to dinner. Here are some creative ideas to make fatty fish a delicious and exciting part of your daily routine. Breakfast ideas. Smoked salmon bagel. Top a whole grain bagel with cream cheese, smoked salmon, capers, and sliced red onion for a savory start to your day. Omega-3 omelet. Fold chunks of canned salmon or sardines into scrambled eggs along with spinach and tomatoes. Avocado toast upgrade. Add flaked smoked trout or sardines to avocado toast for extra flavor and nutrients. Lunch options. Salads with protein. Toss mixed greens with canned tuna, chickpeas, cherry tomatoes, and a lemon vinaigrette for a hearty salad. Fish tacos. Use grilled cod or tilapia as a filling for tacos topped with cabbage slaw, lime crema, and cilantro. Sardine sandwiches. Mash canned sardines with mustard and pickle relish, then spread onto whole grain bread for a quick sandwich. Dinner inspirations. Sheet pan dinners. Roast salmon fillets alongside Brussels sprouts, carrots, and sweet potatoes for an easy one-pan meal. Pasta alternatives. Serve baked trout fillets over zucchini noodles tossed with pesto and cherry tomatoes. Soups and stews. Add chunks of salmon or mackerel to creamy chowders or vegetable stews for a protein boost. Snack solutions. Canned sardines. Enjoy canned sardines straight from the tin or pair them with whole grain crackers and cucumber slices. Smoked salmon rolls. Roll slices of smoked salmon around avocado or cream cheese for a quick appetizer. Fish chips. Bake cod or pollock coated in almond flour and spices for a healthier take on fish and chips. Pro tips for maximizing benefits. While incorporating fatty fish into your diet is straightforward, a few strategies can enhance its nutritional value and make it even more enjoyable. Choose sustainable options. Look for seafood certified by organizations like the Marine Stewardship Council, MSC, to ensure sustainability and ethical sourcing. Try canned varieties. Canned salmon, sardines, and mackerel are affordable, convenient, and just as nutritious as fresh fish. Pair with healthy fats. Combine fatty fish with olive oil, avocado, or nuts to maximize absorption of fat-soluble vitamins like D and E. Experiment with seasonings. Use herbs, spices, and marinades to add variety and excitement to your fish dishes without relying on heavy sauces. Whole grains are often overlooked in discussions about superfoods, but their impact on health is anything but ordinary. For individuals over 60, these nutrient-dense staples provide sustained energy, support digestive health, and reduce the risk of chronic diseases like heart disease, diabetes, and certain cancers. Unlike refined grains, which strip away valuable nutrients during processing, whole grains retain all parts of the kernel, the bran, germ, and endosperm, delivering a powerhouse of fiber, vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. Let's explore why whole grains should be a cornerstone of your diet after 60, and how you can enjoy them in creative, satisfying ways that feel nourishing rather than restrictive. Why whole grains are essential after 60. As we age, our bodies undergo significant changes that make nutrient-dense foods like whole grains indispensable. Metabolism slows down, digestion becomes less efficient, and the risk of chronic diseases increases. Fortunately, whole grains offer targeted support for many of these challenges, providing steady energy, promoting gut health, and stabilizing blood sugar levels. 1. Sustained energy. Whole grains are rich in complex carbohydrates, which break down slowly in the body, providing a steady release of glucose into the bloodstream. This helps prevent the energy crashes and spikes associated with refined grains and sugary snacks. For seniors who need consistent energy to stay active and engaged, whole grains are an excellent choice. A study published in the Journal of Nutrition found that older adults who consumed whole grains regularly had higher energy levels, and reported feeling less fatigued throughout the day compared to those who relied on refined grains. 2. Supporting digestive health. Digestive issues like bloating, constipation, and irritable bowel syndrome, IBS, become more common as we age, often due to decreased fiber intake. Whole grains are an excellent source of dietary fiber, particularly insoluble fiber, which adds bulk to stool and promotes regularity. Additionally, the prebiotic fibers in whole grains feed beneficial gut bacteria, supporting a healthy microbiome. Research conducted at Harvard University showed that individuals who ate 3 or more servings of whole grains per day had a 20% lower risk of developing diverticulitis, a painful condition caused by inflammation in the digestive tract. 3. Stabilizing blood sugar levels. Type 2 diabetes and insulin resistance are growing concerns among seniors, but whole grains can help manage blood sugar levels effectively. Their high fiber content slows the absorption of glucose, preventing post-meal spikes. Additionally, the magnesium in whole grains improves insulin sensitivity, further supporting metabolic health. A meta-analysis published in BMJ Open Diabetes Research and Care revealed that replacing refined grains with whole grains reduced the risk of developing type 2 diabetes by up to 30%. 4. Lowering risk of chronic diseases. Whole grains are packed with antioxidants, phytonutrients, and anti-inflammatory compounds that protect against chronic diseases. Regular consumption has been linked to a lower risk of heart disease, stroke, and certain cancers, including colorectal cancer. For example, a study published in Circulation followed over 100,000 participants and found that those who ate the most whole grains had a 25% lower risk of dying from cardiovascular disease compared to those who ate the least. Real-life stories. How whole grains made a difference. To truly appreciate the transformative power of whole grains, let's meet some individuals whose lives have been positively impacted by embracing these wholesome foods. Laura's energy revival. At 62, Laura struggled with mid-afternoon energy slumps that left her feeling sluggish and unproductive. A nutritionist suggested she swap white bread and pasta for whole grain alternatives. Skeptical but willing to try, Laura started making small changes, switching to whole grain toast for breakfast, using brown rice instead of white rice for stir fries, and experimenting with quinoa salads for lunch. Within weeks, Laura noticed a dramatic improvement in her energy levels. I used to crash around 3 p.m., she says. Now I feel steady and focused all day long. It's amazing what a difference whole grains can make. Robert's digestive relief. Robert, a 69-year-old fitness enthusiast, battled frequent bouts of bloating and constipation despite staying active and eating plenty of fruits and vegetables. His doctor recommended increasing his fiber intake, so Robert began incorporating oats, barley, and bulgur into his meals. He also switched to whole grain crackers and bread. Over time, Robert's digestion improved significantly. I haven't felt this regular in years, he shares. And my workouts are better too. I have more stamina and recover faster. Margaret's heart health success. Margaret, a 71-year-old grandmother, worried about her family history of heart disease. Her doctor encouraged her to adopt a heart-healthy diet, so Margaret started exploring whole grains. She replaced white rice with farro, added oats to her morning smoothies, and experimented with whole grain pasta dishes. At her next checkup, Margaret's cholesterol levels had improved, and her blood pressure was under control. I never realized how much food could impact my health, she marvels. Whole grains are now a non-negotiable part of my diet. Creative ways to enjoy whole grains every day. One of the best things about whole grains is their versatility. Whether cooked as a side dish, blended into smoothies, or baked into bread, they can be incorporated into countless recipes, from breakfast to dessert. Here are some creative ideas to make whole grains a delicious and exciting part of your daily routine. Breakfast ideas. Overnight oats. Combine rolled oats with almond milk, chia seeds, and fresh berries for a creamy, no-cook breakfast. Quinoa porridge. Cook quinoa with almond milk, cinnamon, and a drizzle of honey for a warm, comforting bowl. Whole grain pancakes. Make pancakes using buckwheat flour or oat flour for a fiber-rich twist on a classic favorite. Lunch options. Grain bowls. Build bowls using brown rice, quinoa, or farro as a base. Top with roasted vegetables, lean protein, and a tangy vinaigrette. Salads with hearty greens. Toss cooked barley or bulgur with spinach, cherry tomatoes, cucumbers, and feta cheese for a filling salad. Wraps and sandwiches. Use whole grain wraps or bread for sandwiches filled with hummus, avocado, and veggies. Dinner inspirations. Stir fries. Swap white rice for brown rice or quinoa in your favorite stir fry recipes. Soups and stews. Add pearl barley or wild rice to soups and stews for extra texture and nutrition. Baked dishes. Use whole grain breadcrumbs or crushed nuts as a topping for casseroles and gratins. Snack solutions. Popcorn. Air pop popcorn and season it with herbs or nutritional yeast for a fiber-rich snack. Trail mix upgrade. Combine whole grain cereal with nuts, seeds, and dried fruit for a satisfying treat. Energy bars. Make homemade bars using oats, dates, and nut butter for a portable snack. Dessert alternatives. Oatmeal cookies. Bake cookies using rolled oats, dark chocolate chunks, and walnuts for a guilt-free treat. Rice pudding. Cook brown rice with coconut milk, vanilla extract, and raisins for a creamy dessert. Granola parfaits. Layer homemade granola with Greek yogurt and fresh fruit for a sweet yet nutritious option. Pro tips for maximizing benefits. While incorporating whole grains into your diet is easy, a few strategies can enhance their nutritional value and make them even more enjoyable. Read labels carefully. Look for products labeled 100% whole grain to ensure you're getting the full nutritional benefits. Avoid items with added sugars or refined flours. Experiment with ancient grains. Try lesser-known varieties like farro, teff, amaranth, or spelt for unique flavors and textures. Pair with protein and healthy fats. Combine whole grains with lean proteins and healthy fats to create balanced meals that keep you full and satisfied. Cook in bulk. Prepare large batches of grains like quinoa, brown rice, or barley at the start of the week for quick and easy meal prep.